We have some big news coming in from Bangladesh. The death toll in Bangladesh protests has risen to 440. Efforts currently underway by the army to bring the situation under control. The death toll in anti-government protests in Bangladesh has climbed to 440 as I speak now. Updated numbers coming in with over 120 killed just in the last 24 hours. After Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled the country, there were 100 more who died in the riots. The angry mob on the streets, rampaging most parts of Dhaka. As much as they claim that Dhaka is under control, we're looking at the death toll mounting with 440 in total, the death toll that's been reported as of today. BSF tightening security along the Indo-Bangladesh border amid unrest in Bangladesh. Remember, India has made a clear statement with this regard, saying that this is Bangladesh's internal matter, though our border areas have been highly fortified, secured in light of the violence that unfolds in Bangladesh. And while Sheikh Hasina currently is stationed in India at the Hindan Air Base, we're looking at protests that still continues with 440 people in total who've been killed. Now, this is a number that is calculated since the protest began about a month ago till today. So, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, the protests that ensued first started as a student agitation against the quota 30% given to freedom fighters' families in government jobs, eventually turned into anti-government protests. And it intensified to such a bitter extent where we saw angry mobs vandalizing all public property and private, killing people on the go. In fact, public lynching was a common sight in the last few weeks. And a lot of the student protesters claimed that it was a reaction to the excessive force used by the Bangladesh police. They blame Sheikh Hasina, accusing her of using excessive force on those protesters. But really nothing can justify the kind of rampage that these protesters have gone on, where they've vandalized, killed, robbed, assaulted people and places as they go. Along the way of their protests, they've done all possible criminal acts. And this is the situation of Bangladesh today. No government, it's headless. An interim government is yet to be established, but that hasn't yet happened. Though late last night, the students' body came together claiming that they repose responsibility on Muhammad Yunus, who's a Nobel laureate, to help in guiding and advising them on how to put together an interim government. They're very clear, the students' body, though, that they want a government or a party basically to contest, which has the support of the students and the public, the citizens and the students. Their choice of government should come as the interim government only. That any other government that is backed by the army, for example, will not be welcomed. So for now, we hear that the death toll in Bangladesh riots has reached 440. Let me quickly cut across to Suryagni joining us live for more on that. Suryagni, we know that India has fortified its borders, and we see the unfolding situation in Bangladesh, neighboring country, is quite troublesome. 440 deaths that have been reported in the latest.
Well, Nabila, the borders are always fortified, and BSF and the SSB, they always, they make sure that no untoward incident takes place. But whenever an incident of this sort takes place in a neighboring country, especially a one which borders almost 4 states, 4 very important states, so that is Bengal, Assam, Tripura and Meghalaya, you can understand the security measures that will be heightened if if not maintained the status quo. What we have understood is that there's always manning of the unfenced border and the fenced one as well. Similar things are being done. It's always monitored. Similar sites are being it's being done once again to make sure that no untoward incident or infiltration happens, because that becomes a worry in this kind of a situation. Now, the DG of the BSF, that is Diljit Singh Chaudhary, he was over here. He's been on his tour of the Eastern Command. He went to Sundarbans yesterday. Today he came over here. He's met localites as well. He's spoken to the local officers as well. He'll be traveling to the other states as well to make sure that, the borders which are porous in nature, because it's a riverine border, both Assam and Tripura and Bengal. A lot of rivers pass through it. There are, forests and, water bodies that do not let, proper fencing. So these areas are being monitored very seriously so that, infiltration of that sort do not happen. One important thing that we have gathered from our sources of the BSF is that no kind of an infiltration has happened in the past 24 hours as such, because that is something that the BSF was, looking at, because there was a theory that many people could, flee towards India. However, that sort of an issue has not really happened.
In a latest video, a latest video by a YouTuber showing how to illegally enter India through underground tunnels. He established a whole route into India, and showing how easy it was to actually illegally enter the country. So we know that this is one of the preferred routes for many of them wanting to escape that country into a safer haven. They see India as a safe space, but we don't want immigrants at this point, not especially from Bangladesh.
Well, Nabila, as I mentioned, that a lot of the border area is porous, especially in Assam, Meghalaya, even in some parts of West Bengal and also in Tripura. And yes, that video was very much under the scanner, so was the YouTuber. And post that, what we had gathered is that, there was, these porous areas were, screened and deployment was done. Once again, it's a very, very porous border. It's easier said than done.
Which is why it's understandable why the BSF then has alerted security personnel all along the eastern belt to ensure they keep a sharp vigil on any kind of infiltration. It's sensitive. Violence still continues there. We will track this story. Thanks very much, Suryagni, for joining us.